90 minutes, no studio audience, mics off when the other candidate is speaking. Those are the ground rules for the one and only candidates' debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. With the polls so tight in the U.S. presidential race, much is riding on this showdown in Philadelphia later. Antonia Kerrigan has more.
Extremely tight in the polls, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are now counting down to their live debate in Philadelphia. The format of the showdown has been the result of much negotiation. 90 minutes of debate time on ABC News, with no live audience in the room, structured by moderators asking questions, and each candidate afforded a fixed allowance of answer time, rebuttal time, and follow-up, clarification or response time. Candidates will be armed with only pen, paper and a bottle of water, and there will be no lifelines. Prepared notes are strictly prohibited, as is consulting with campaign staff during the ad breaks. The date and host channel were agreed on in May by the Trump and Biden campaigns. But after wrangling in recent weeks, it's almost a surprise the debate is going ahead at all. In early August, Republican candidate Donald Trump said he was pulling the plug. Soon after, it became apparent that his opponent would be Vice President Harris instead of outgoing President Biden, calling instead for an alternative date on Fox News. The former president confirmed his participation at the end of August, but has continued to insist the process is rigged against him, like at a town hall on the Fox News channel last week.
John, ABC is the worst network in terms of fairness. They are the most dishonest network, the meanest, the nastiest, but that was what I was presented with. I was presented with ABC.
Meanwhile, his opponent appears quietly confident.
Are you ready, Madam Vice President?
Ready.
Despite not having entirely got her way either. Originally, the Biden campaign demanded that mics be off, except when the candidate has the floor, perhaps for fear that Biden be distracted by interruptions. But the Harris campaign wanted both mics on, so the former prosecutor could shine by shutting down any interruptions and put the spotlight on any loss of composure by her opponent. Her campaign eventually relented on the demand, but put it in writing that they consider the mics off rule puts her at a disadvantage.
By day, he's a mild-mannered English teacher at Paris's prestigious telecoms engineering school. Zachary Oberg is also the Take No Prisoners debate coach there, vice president for higher education tournament of the French Debating Association. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thanks for having me.
You just heard that report. Does this qualify as like what you would consider a debate?
I mean, I would say that a structured debate, like in the debate tournament that the FDA has created, is much different than a presidential debate. I mean, the criteria and the who's a winner is much easier to define in the FDA than even if it's a little subjective at times. But a presidential debate, it comes down to who can bring change and who can we see as the president.
Okay, so what defines a winner in your debating format? How do you win?
The criteria are the arguments, the quality of the arguments, the form, so the way that it's structured, the timing, etc. Engagement, how much you engage with the other team. Teamwork. There's 5 debaters on our type of debating, so how well they've prepared as a team, and then there's star quality, which is always a bit subjective.
Okay, so Zachary Oberg, I'm asking for a friend here. What if you're facing an opponent who throws at you lie after lie after lie? How do you counter that?
Well, you can talk about their character, and if someone is going to lie and lie, then they can't be trusted. Obviously, the fire hose of lies is not something that you can fact check in real time and react to every single one of those things. I mean, that's pretty much futile. But I'd say you can speak to the character of the other debater.
In the United States, and there is much more of a tradition of what you've just described in terms of debating. Oral arguments in a French court case, for instance, don't count nearly as much in a final decision as do written arguments. So when you're looking at something like what we're going to see later on ABC, is this something that's familiar or unfamiliar to you?
I mean, it's familiar in growing up in the United States and seeing this type of debate go on. I'd be less familiar with doing it myself or asking my students to debate in this type of way, especially in a year like a debate cycle like this year, where the candidates, I would say, are pretty unusual.
And do Americans treat this as information, as politics, or as entertainment?
The presidential debates? I mean,
yes.
I would say that Donald Trump supporters are going to support Donald Trump one way or another, whatever he ends up doing. It's really more for Kamala Harris an opportunity for her to tell us who she is, define herself in opposition to the Biden administration, and tell us what she stands for. So I'd say the stakes are probably a bit higher for her.
And everybody's been talking up the fact that she used to be a prosecutor in a courtroom. But is that what she wants to do here? Or is it better, rather than grill the suspect, to let Donald Trump fall on his own sword? Which is the best strategy here?
I mean, I would say it definitely works in her own favor, and has the opportunity to, let Donald Trump fall on his own sword, if you, as you put it. Trump is, however, an unpredictable showman, so you never know what he's going to bring as well. I think she needs to be ready for that, and I guess expect the unexpected. But I think she's a quick debater, and she can speak on her feet and react to what he has to say.
And Donald Trump, his strength is, you were mentioning charisma as one of the important factors in winning a debate. He's capable of keeping the limelight on himself.
He does do that, yes.
So how do you think he's preparing for this?
I've heard that he's got policy time where he reviews the positions on policy, but I don't know as he's really preparing a whole lot or rehearsing. I understand Harris has doing mock debates with a Trump impersonator or an aide dressed as Trump or something like this. But I think Trump, his style is to shoot from the hip and sort of wing it, and that works for him in a lot of ways, for better or for worse.
What are you expecting to learn from this debate?
Looking forward to seeing how Harris defines herself as as a candidate and where she stands, as opposed to the Biden administration. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't hoping for a little bit of drama, but we'll see what happens with that.
One final question for you: your French students, what are they expecting from this?
They're probably more interested in the drama, but I don't know if I can. Maybe I can teach my students much from watching a presidential debate. Maybe what to do and what not to do.
So there will be a debrief.
Does, don't do it. Yeah, well, I'll debrief them for sure.
Okay. And will you be staying up late to watch?
I'll probably watch the replays. I don't know if I got school in the morning.
Well, if you do want to watch it live, there's one place to go, and that is France 24. We'll be covering it. It'll be 3 a.m. Paris time. I know there are watch parties in places. Many thanks, Zachary Oberg, for being with us.
Thank you very much, Billy.
Stay with us. There's much more to come, more news, plus the day's business and sports.